right, Mr. Clennon, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Michael James Clennon, 323-402.
All right, Mr. Clennon. We have with us today the Parole Project, who will be speaking at the appropriate time. But first, let me just read some identifying information and we'll start the parole interview. Mr. Clennon, you're classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving 52-year sentence for armed robbery in Orleans Parish. Armed robbery in Jefferson Parish. Your parole eligibility date was August 1st, 2021, and your good time date is August 24th, 2046. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. Would you answer his questions, please?
Okay, Mr. Glennon, how old are you?
51.
What's your educational level?
I have high set, which is equivalent to a GED. I'm a fourth semester Loyola University undergrad.
Okay. And how many years have you served on this charge?
26 years.
Okay. You're convicted of 2 armed robbery charges, which neither one of them you got too much money out of. What was going on that time? Were you on drugs or what?
No, sir. It wasn't drugs. I was, the choice of a better word, I was lazy, immature and lazy. And I chose to do that because I didn't want to get a job. I was just loafing around and I didn't want to work. And that was the bottom line to that charge.
Okay. How do you think the victims felt? What effect you think you had on them?
I'm pretty sure I had a very, very bad effect on them. Wow. I've tried many, many ways to apologize to those people. I even met a relative. I tried to send word to them and apologize. So I knew I affected those people, and it was totally wrong. It was totally wrong. So I knew I had really a big effect on them. So yeah.
How many children do you have?
I have 2.
Okay. Do you have any contact with your children?
At present, no, sir. Over the years, I kind of lost contact with a lot of people. After 26 years doing time, you kind of lose contact.
Okay. I see you were released on good time supervision in 1998, and that was revoked. Is that because of the incident offenses?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what would be your residence and employment plans?
Okay, as of right now, I'm connected with the Louisiana Parole Project, so they're gonna put me up for a while, and then I'm going to college. I'm going to Loyola University. I'm going on campus. I have a job on campus. Hopefully things work out with that.
I see you've taken some classes. What class you got the most out of?
I mean, if I had to choose, I would say college, but if you're talking programming, then it would be Celebrate Recovery. I really like that class.
Okay, what did you learn from Celebrate Recovery?
I actually learned how to just kind of, I heard an old saying my mom used to say, she always said, let go and let God. And the purpose of that program was like to get over your hurts, habits, and your hangups, right? So it was a thing that they wanted you to pay attention to, that you were powerless to do the wrong thing, right? And at first it didn't really make sense. But then I caught it because that saying that my mom used to say, you got to kind of let go and let God. So I learned to kind of depend on God instead of always trying to guide myself. So I really like that class.
Okay. You have a low need and a low risk. You're medium custody. Now let's talk about your disciplinary history. Tell me about that. You got 217 write-up?
Yes, sir. When I first came to prison this time, I was rebellious. I was still young, very young. And I kind of had I didn't really want to listen to anybody. I didn't want to be in prison. That's obvious. And I just rebelled against a lot of things. But after so long, it got tiring, real tiring. And I had to try and figure out some other way to do that. I got tired of being locked up and constantly written up. So I had to switch it up. But I make no excuse for those reports. A lot of it has to do with immaturity.
Okay, in 213-22, you were written up a contraband. What was the contraband?
Can't exactly remember that report. I could explain it if. Okay, I was written up. I think I had a marker, just a marks a lot. I rewrote my number on the back of my personal shirt because I didn't know the process of getting it re-stenciled. I think he found a gambling ticket, and I think it was an extra tube of muscle rub, but some of those were thrown out because the muscle rub, I made sick call, they gave me one, and then when I seen the doctor, he ordered me another. So that's how I had two, but it was just muscle rub for just a little helmet. And the rewriting of the number on the back of my shirt, it was my number. And when I went to court, they actually gave me the shirt back, but they still found me guilty because I should have gotten them to re-stencil it instead of rewriting the number on the back of it.
Okay, and you said you had a gambling ticket. What were you gambling on?
It was football games, just football.
Okay, y'all bet within the prison you were betting?
At that time, yeah, but since then I haven't gambled. It was just football.
Back in 21, it looks like you had a lot of problems with aggravated disobedience. What was that about?
Okay. I had recently been released from the cell blocks. I was on a very good yard. I just took my TABE test and I scored real high. I was on my way trying to get back into school and get things on track. And they had a guy that he was into a lot of other stuff. He was getting in trouble and me and him was in each other's enemy jacket. So they wanted to move him and put him on the yard that I was on. And they wanted me to move to a way worse yard than the one that I was on. And I really didn't want to go over there. So I was trying everything to not go on that yard. That's really all that was. I was trying to stay out of trouble by not going on that yard.
All right. You belong to any clubs?
None other than the Wolfpack, which is Loyola University.
Okay, what about community service? Have you done any community service in the prison?
Well, every chance I get, I try and counsel, younger guys. I'm always talking positive with them, trying to keep them on track. And, they kind of look up to me because all the things I've been through, all the years I've been incarcerated, Angola, I've done 21 years in Angola. So they kind of look up to me. So I try and kind of keep the peace. I keep everything calm. So if that counts as community service, then I'm always trying to make things calm.
Okay, Warden, what do you have to say about Mr. Glennon?
Well, Mr. Pete, I was gleaning through his record real quick. He did have a little run there in 21 where there was another inmate here that they had enemies listed on. There's some incidents there where he did basically refuse to move because of that. He's done well in school. If you look back on his record, going back knowing Michael, he went from a really frequent flyer to where he's at today. So that is to be pointed out. I mean, he up until about 2 years ago, his name was all over everybody's radar. So. And then, like I said, his education, that's pretty much what we got on him.
You mentioned, Mr. Clennon, your plan would be to continue your education at Loyola.
Yes, ma'am.
What would be your course of study?
As of right now, I'm trying to get a bachelor's, which will take me anywhere from 8 to 10 years, which I have no problem with. It's in applied sciences. So, I'm kind of plugging away at that. I'm in my 4th semester right now, doing really good. My grades are really high. I have a job on campus as a student worker.
Doing what? The job?
I have a job on campus as a student worker as of right now, but, waiting on this hearing.
What do you do? What do you do as a student worker?
Well, it will probably be clerical work for GSRI. That's our extended portion of college. So, yeah, and they're also trying to get me maybe like a law clerk in one of the law offices that they're familiar with. I'm pretty good with law, so.
I am concerned about your disciplinary record, especially since you say that younger guys look up to you. You got a story to tell, but you still not following the rules. Did you ever get moved? Did your housing location get moved?
Yes, I was actually put back on a yard because the guy that was in my jacket, he caught another write-up while I was trying not to go on the yard that he was on. And he was actually transferred. So since then, I haven't had a report in like, 18 months.
Did you go on that other yard?
I did for like about 3 weeks when they didn't send him back, and then they moved me back. And then from there, I got in school and
Well,
everything.
listen. Someone who's been locked up 26 years and has been only 18 months without a write-up is concerning for me. We see people locked up a lot longer than that with certainly a lot less. I understand early on, but I'm looking at the last couple of years. So anyway, I'll just listen. Mr. Myers, we'd like to hear from the Parole Project.
Good morning. Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. Mr. Clennon came to our attention essentially from 2 professors at Loyola through their Loyola Prison Education Program, which is a BA degree program that started in the fall of 22. Professors Concord and Bolden asked us to look at Michael and looking at him based on his past disciplinary history. You might get pause, as you said, looking at him as he, in his own words, he was tired of what he has been doing and was now looking to do something different. He's excelled in this college program. They came to us specifically for this, and we plan on providing all our services to Michael upon release. We will plan on giving him extended housing support until he can settle, get his job settle in New Orleans, get enrolled full time. That's the goal that they have, that I know he has, and that Professors Concord and Bolden have expressed to us. And we certainly want to support that. His trajectory has certainly changed in the last 2 years, completely reversed his trajectory. And so we believe he's on the right path, has great potential for the future in this, and has a lot of support in the process of doing this. So we're prepared to help through this transition. So Parole Project has asked that the board consider all this in their decision.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Clennon, is there something you'd like to say to us before we vote?
I like to use the term evolve. Who I was, who I am, and who I will be is 3 different people. And I would like you to give me the chance to be who I will be.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Clennon, you're 100% heading in the right direction, if you keep evolving the same way. I have tremendous concerns about the number of write-ups you have. The last being around 16 months ago, 17 months ago. So my vote today would be to deny, but to encourage you to reapply when you get eligible, as long as you stay write-up free.
Mrs. Jackson.
Ms. Clennon, when I read your record, what I had down as my decision is doubtful. Doubtful that you would get granted, but I was willing to listen. And I have heard you, and it's unfortunate that obviously you've got a lot of intellect and a lot of potential, but it's been wasted. For most of your life, it's been wasted, which is sad. I think you are on the right trajectory, but for me, I need to see a more sustained period where you're just keeping your head down, following the rules, not getting any write-ups. I think your day is going to come. I just don't think it's today because of the recent write-ups you've had. But I'm going to encourage you to keep working hard. And as Mr. Freeman said, reapply when you're eligible and do whatever you need to do not to get any more write-ups between now and the time that you're eligible to apply.
All right, Mr. Clennon, it's unfortunate. I made a note earlier when I was reviewing your file that you've been in jail almost half your life. But I do agree with my colleagues. I've already expressed my concern. I'm encouraged, though. I'm really encouraged, particularly that the professors are seeking you out. But you gotta show us that you're ready. You gotta stay right up free. In spite of personal issues. I agree with my colleagues. My vote today is to deny with a strong encouragement you remain right up free and reapply and continue on your educational path. Good luck to you, sir.